everyone. Today, I want to do my part 1 English assignment to giving my opinion about smoking in the campus area. Before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Damar Anggara, name 19252035. I'm from Information System Study Program at class 19.1a.25. And today I am here to share my opinion for smoking in campus area, a topic that affects our noses, our lungs, and sometimes even our mood. Now, imagine walking into campus in the morning. You're feeling fresh, motivated, and ready to study, of course. And then suddenly, whoosh, a cloud of cigarette smoke hits you like a surprise plot twist. Your eyes squint, your lungs panic, and you start doing Olympic level coughing. Definitely not the academic atmosphere we all dream of. For me, a campus should be a place of learning, not a place that feels like someone turned on a fog machine for dramatic effect. We want fresh air, not second-hand smoke special effects. Smoking on campus doesn't just affect the smoker. Oh no, smoke travels. It moves around campus faster than exam rumors. It sneaks into hallways, study corners, and every quiet bench where students are trying to calm their souls before a quiz. But don't worry, this isn't about judging anyone. Everyone has the right to make their own decisions. If someone wants to make smoke, that's their choice. But please, not in the campus area. Outside the campus, sure, go ahead. Just follow the rules and use proper smoking zones. Do not creating mini smoke clouds wherever you like. So, here's my simple message to you. Let's keep our campus clean, healthy, and smoke-free. We all deserve to breathe air that's fresh, not flavored. Let's make our campus a place where the only thing burning is our spirit to finish assignment on time. Okay. By the way, thank you for listening my opinion today. And let's protect our lungs together. Bye bye. Hello. Good morning, everyone. The last time we had a very engaging discussion on the topic of smoking in campus area, where we practiced giving our opinion. That session highlighted the importance of using clear and effective language to express our thoughts and perspective. Today, in part 2 of our communication skills series, we will focus on another crucial aspect of effective communication, making polite and respectful requests. Our focus is on the usage of modal verbs in requests and how they help us navigate professional and social situations smoothly. Let's dive into the core function of modals in this context. What are modal verbs? Importance of modals in daily communication. Our main focus today is understanding how modals express polite requests. As we established, using modals is key to making polite requests. Modals are auxiliary verbs that express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. In the context of request, they serve a very important function. For example, a direct comment like "give me that book" is impolite. But when you introduce a modal, you get a polite request, such as "could you give me that book, please?" We move to the next slide. So, why should we bother using modals when making requests? Primarily, it's about social etiquette and communication effectiveness. Using modals, you immediately show respect and you sound much more polite. They also serve to reduce directness in your speech, which is crucial for making communication smoother and less confrontational. It's all about courtesy. Next, let's review the 5 common modals that we use for requests. 1. Can. 2. Could. 3. May. 4. Would. 5. Will. We will now examine the specific usage and politeness level of each of these 5 models. First up is can. Can is generally used for informal or friendly requests. It's a neutral modal in terms of politeness. For instance, you can say, "Can you open the window?" or "Can I borrow your pen?" Next, we have could. Could is considered more polite and formal than can. This is a safer choice when you want to be polite. Example is, "Could you help me with my homework?" and "Could I speak to the manager, please?" Next, may. May is a formal and very polite modal, often used in formal situations. It's mainly used when asking for permission. For example, "May I come in?" and "May I use your phone?" The high level of politeness here. Next, the fourth model is would. Would expresses willingness and politeness. Is often used for polite or formal requests. A common way to use it is, "Would you close the door, please?" You can also use the structure, "Would you mind helping me?" Next. Finally, we have will. Will is slightly direct, but it can still be polite when you add "please." For example, "Will you come with me?" or "Will you help me with this project?" Next. This table clearly summarizes the politeness levels. Can is neutral. For example, "Can you pass the salt?" Could is polite. For example, "Could you pass the salt?" May is very polite. For the example is, "May I have the salt, please?" Would is polite or formal. For example, "Would you mind passing the salt?" The example further illustrates that difference. "Can you pass the salt?" versus "Would you mind passing the salt?" We move to the modal plus please. A simple but effective tip is adding please to your request. Adding please helps to soften the tone of the request. Compare can you help me with can you help me please? The latter is immediately more courteous. A negative request. Models can also form negative requests. The example is, would you mind closing the door? There is the negative request. Next, for an extra layer of politeness, you can use the phrase, would you mind? It's important to remember the structure here. Would you mind plus verb ing. You could say, would you mind opening the window? Also, modal can form polite negatives, like, would you mind closing the door? That's the last time we say. Okay, next up. Request with do you think you could? Another very polite option is the structure do you think you could? This phrasing is softer and very polite. You can use it in sentence like, do you think you could wait a moment? Or do you think you could wait a moment? Next, the common mistakes we do. Finally, let's quickly address common mistakes. Do not use to after the model instead of can you two help me? But you can say can you help me? And remember the correct form with would you mind, avoid would you mind to help, and you can say it would you mind helping. That's it. Next slide. Okay. The practice sentence is close 1. Close the door. 2. Lend me your book. 3. Give me some water. 4. Help me with my homework. Next slide. The example dialogue. Let's see this module in action with a short dialogue. Shiva, use a polite request. Could you lend me your dictionary? And Cynthia responds positively, and then offers further help with another model. Would you like me to help you find the word? Next, we are at the end. The conclusion. The conclusion. Models make requests polite and respectful. Choose the right model based on situation. To conclude, modals, verbs play an important role in forming polite and effective requests. Always remember that modals make your request polite and respectful. The key is to choose the right model based on situation, whether it's informal or highly formal. By understanding how to use them appropriately, you can improve your communication skill in both spoken and written English. As the saying goes, politeness builds better communication. Thank you very Thank you very much for your attention. I'll be happy to answer any question. Bye bye.